such a dork. A dab. Isn't that what they do? Isn't that what the kids do, right?
So Carol,
I just think
like being a size of
queer. It's
straight male-dominated industries.
I don't know.
No,
you don't have to ask me that. I don't really, honestly, whatever.
No,
But I feel like I don't like being in front of the camera, but I also feel like there's this whole women of size that are so underrepresented that I was like, all right, I got to be some fat chick in front of a camera saying it's okay to be a fat chick behind the camera, you know? I'm serious.
I know you are. I know you're serious.
And then I ran into Joni and she's like, I might not have a job after this. And I'm like, what? She's like, I was very honest. It's like, okay, Joni. Trust me, if you haven't lost your job already, you're okay.
Paul's coming.
Huh?
Paul's coming.
Okay, I just want to do something else.
You have to point it down because I'm so short. Sorry.
Sorry, you're so short.
No, I'm not sorry, I'm short.
Mind your shot? Nope. Sorry.
It's all right.
Too much.
It's fine. This feels really weird though, I'm not gonna lie. See, you gotta just might as well shoot me from. I'm glad you're getting my good side because I got a zit this morning and I was like, what?
Hey, Carol.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Paul.
Nice to meet you, Paul.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks
No.
for being in this.
This is fun. I know her.
I know her quite well.
Well, do you want to be the questioner this time?
I mean, you can definitely have at it, but
Okay.
I don't mind doing it.
Yeah, why don't you do it this time?
All right.
I'm a
Groovy.
little burnt.
All right, cool.
All right. Thanks again.
Yeah, no problem. Thank
Be
you.
totally honest, be funny, be profane. It's all good.
Fabulous. I can do all of those things.
Okay, good.
It's true.
All right.
Okay, so because I'm going to be interviewing, you can talk to me.
But look at him.
No.
No.
Restate the question for me, too.
What did he say?
And restate the question in the answer in a way that we can, like.
Oh, okay.
You're a documentarian.
Yeah, but it's been a long time since I've done my own work.
Now I'm expecting more out of you.
Oh, fuck, right? I did my thesis like 20 years ago, so, and I haven't done anything since, so I don't even remember. I did it on film too, not on digital, so. Oh my God, that was
I'm expecting you to be concise on topic.
Oh God, you're totally screwed.
Also, how do you feel about the word wood behind you?
Oh, I think that's awesome. Too bad it doesn't say odd box, maybe would be better.
Okay, Carol, tell me what it's like being you in the union.
So should I form it?
Warming her up.
What it's like to be me in the union?
Queer.
A queer dominated, oh no, it's not a queer dominated. What is it like to be me in the union? It is very fun to be me in the union. It is a struggle to not look like the angry dyke in the union. So I smile a lot and I'm user friendly.
Are you genuinely that happy?
I think so. I mean, there's definitely moments where you're by yourself or you're not happy, but I try to I work at Moscone a lot and people are miserable in their gigs sometimes.
That's a repeated theme here.
Yeah, it's true though. People are miserable, and I don't want to. It's too much for me. I don't want to be miserable like that. So
Specifically with Moscone is what we heard.
It really is specifically Moscone. Because you'll go in when it's dark and you'll come out when it's dark, and you'll was there light? It's like tree falls in a forest. If there was light but I didn't see it, was there light? So I try to be a little more positive because oh God, after 15 hours, sometimes you just, of all those people complaining, it just gets you dark, it's just, there's just better things to do. Are you okay? You're you're making weird noises, making me uncomfortable. Where should I look? Should I just look at you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd be like, my name is Carol and I'm a stagehand. No.
Do you think there's a certain temperament that needs to occur to be a stagehand? To be a good stagehand, do you need to be a certain type of individual?
I don't know if you need to be a certain type of individual. I think you need to have or develop a thick skin, which is very difficult. Because there are definitely, you're always learning. There's definitely criticism, or there's definitely what you can do to be more efficient in your job, and you have to be able to hear that. And that's difficult for people. I know it's very difficult for me at times. So, I would definitely say that. But I mean, there are people who are super talkative, super quiet, super jovial, super angry all the time. I mean, and for the most part, I think that they can mix, but you definitely have to develop a thick skin.
But what do you all have in common?
We're masochists. Who would do this to themselves? Who would work sporadically 15-hour days, 5-hour turnaround sometimes, forced calls? Who does this to themselves? There's a little bit of masochism in there, but also I think just this enjoyment of doing something different every day, I mean, even though I hang lights, it's always in different places, always on different rigs. It's a lot of fun in a weird way. But yeah, masochist, you gotta be masochist.
How long have you been a masochist?
I've been a masochist for 45 years. I'm gonna say 44 and a half, it took me 6 months.
How long have you been a stagehand?
I've been a stagehand with Local 16 for about 5 years. I've done theater and film, I studied it in college, so most of my life.
Do you feel like you're treated like an experienced individual?
Sometimes, sometimes I'm not an experienced individual on the job. Sometimes there are many people who know much more than I do, and but there are jobs where I feel like I got it. Like, this is it. I know what I'm doing. Oh my God, I picked the right career. This is amazing. But there are also jobs where, you're gonna end up working with some people who, it doesn't matter how good of a worker you are, they're gonna prejudge you. They're gonna see you for something some bullshit that they have going on in their head from years ago, and they're gonna treat you like that, and they're gonna treat you like you're not competent. The key is to not lower yourself to that level, which is really hard. So yeah, yes and no.
Okay, let's see. What was your least favorite gig show that you worked on?
My least favorite.
Or your favorite, whichever one is like really.
I have to say I'm not nobody's really a big fan of doing the Dreamforce because it's kind of crazy. But when I did Dreamforce 2 years ago, I felt like my learning curve just like shot. And it was like all of a sudden things started to like make sense to me, Like, it was amazing. Like, I was so stoked. I was so happy with how I was learning, and I felt like I could become a leader. So I think that was, and I worked with really good people. I think that was really an amazing experience for me. But, I wouldn't say it was like the most amazing gig. I got to do Spotlight for a Billy Idol acoustic show this week. That was awesome because he still does that in acoustic, Come on. Like, the guy's 63 and he kept me busy. Like, I didn't think he was gonna move. It was like 2 seats, 1 guitar, and the guy was all over the place. I was so tired by the end of it.
How do you deal with the irregular work schedule?
It's a really good question. I eat out a lot, unfortunately. Like, I don't deal with it. I don't know. You just kind of have to come to a zen moment with the fact that you are not going to work a 9 to 5. You're not going to get your paycheck on the 1st and the 15th of every month, and just kind of go with it.
What's the longest call you've ever worked on?
20 hours. So I feel like I've been actually pretty lucky. A lot of people a little more experienced than me have the longer, kind of crazier calls. I've done maybe 1 or 2 20 hours. But for the most part, they're usually between 9 and 10.
Do you think you're well represented at the hall to negotiate like whatever you need as a union member?
I think we're working on it. As a woman of size and a queer woman, no, absolutely not. I feel very underrepresented, but that's because there's not a lot of people like me. I think that they're opening themselves up more to hearing what women need. At least I'm hoping they're opening themselves up more to what women need, what people of color need, what queer folks need. But it's always a bit of a struggle.
What do you need?
I need to be seen as an equal, you know? I think there's a stigma against people of size and women of size that they can't do the same job. My size has never stopped me. My height, maybe a little bit, you know, but I think we need to be seen as equals and that we can do the job. And if we do need help, and everybody on this job needs help at some point, you know, nobody, I don't care how tall and thin and strong you are, you're gonna need assistance at some point. As long as we know we can say, hey, I need an extra set of hands, I don't see what the problem is.
Do you feel safe at work?
Yes. I think maybe 1 or 2 times I've not felt safe with a person I worked with, and I've corrected that. But I think 99.9% of the people I work with, 90% of the people I work with, I feel safe. I'm also really good at taking myself out of situations where I don't feel safe. And I think that comes with, you know, being in the union longer. I think people are afraid to speak and to say, hey, I don't feel safe in this situation, or I'm not comfortable in this situation. I can do that now. It was very hard for me in like my first 3 years in the union. But yeah, I will not put myself in a dangerous situation.
Are you talking from like an OSHA standpoint or an assault standpoint, or both?
More an OSHA standpoint. The assault standpoint, that's another monster. Yeah, okay, interpersonal. You know, since I'm queer and I can't hide it, I have different interactions with people who would sexually harass somebody. I've never been physically harassed on the job. I think I've been, you know, people have definitely harassed me with their words, and I've tried to walk away from that. But I have not had physically an issue because I can't hide the fact that I'm queer, and everybody knows it. So I think there's more of I'm looked at not so much as an object or you know, something that a man would be attracted to, more along the lines of I'm their competition.
So it's more workplace safety.
Yeah, more workplace safety, yeah.
Okay.
Do you ever take him out and fight out back?
I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I hate confrontation.
What is it with stagehands and motorcycles?
Oh my God, I drive a scooter, okay? And I drove the scooter before I became a stagehand. I like to say I'm not that cool because I drive a scooter. I think there is this weird kind of adrenaline, like need for speed kind of thing with stagehands. I know that when I got into the union, like, and especially a lot of the women at the time, they all wanted to be riggers and they all wanted to get their motorcycle license all at one time. And I'm like, I'm an electrician and I love my scooter, you know? But I think there's some weird daredevil thing to the job, you know? It's like work hard, play hard kind of mentality. If I could shift, I would be totally a motorcycle owner. I just never learned how to shift, and I'm okay with it.
Do you suffer from any pain or like injury from the job?
Yeah, I do. I have a bone spur in my foot. I blew out my knee at one of the hotels 3.5 years ago, and I had to get arthroscopic surgery. So that definitely gets stiff a lot. So those are kind of my 2 main things.
If you weren't a stagehand, what the fuck would you do?
I would probably be unemployed. I'm so unemployable, except for this job. Nobody's gonna employ someone with this many tattoos, people. So.
Would you say that a stagehand is also a misfit or something like that?
I think it depends on which generation you're talking to, because I feel like the kind of the newer kids that are coming in are very techie savvy and maybe more on the kind of nerd spectrum, and I feel like maybe the Gen Xers or a little like total misfits. You know, we're total misfits. And the old guys, I don't even know what they are. You know, they're just angry alcoholics now. You know, not really. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of misfit, but I think more of it is sort of a love of behind the scenes of how things work. You know, I mean, when I am on a show call, the show isn't that interesting to me. The like what we do to get the show ready, I love that. It's just like, it's such a like, it just totally jazzes me up, you know? I love the behind the scenes stuff. I don't know. I just like how things work. You know, honestly, the show is like anticlimactic for me, you know? Even running spot on a concert that I like would totally pay to go see, I'm like, meh. It's cool, but you know how that light was such a pain in the ass and it took us so long to figure this out. And, you know, I mean, I just kind of like that. It's fun. And there's something about being on stage while people are screaming for a pick and be like, nah.
Do you wish you were the performer?
No, not at all. I mean, I've done some performing and I am not interested in it at all. At all.
That's pretty common.
Yeah.
Do you think you're paid well?
Yeah. I think, you know, I mean, I'm always up for a raise, you know, but, you know, it would be nicer to make this salary in another city. San Francisco is just a horrible city to survive in, and, you know, but I'm pretty happy as of right now, for my compensation.
Do you think you'll do this for a long time?
Oh yeah, I don't see me doing anything else at all. I don't even know what I'm qualified for anymore.
Do your friends, family, loved ones know what you do? Do they understand it?
Yes, they absolutely. A lot of my friends are stagehands, obviously, too, or are in theater in some way, so they all know. My parents love it, don't completely understand it, don't know how to explain it to people, so they just tell people I'm in theater. You know, I mean, that's pretty much yeah.
What about random chicks at the bar? What do they think?
I'm working. Who sees random chicks at the bar when they're at work all the time? Or I'm asleep. There's no such thing. I don't know. You know, there was actually, I did, one of my favorite bands is Sleater-Kinney, and they let me do the show, and I was really excited because I got to, you know, I got to touch their guitars and set up everything, and they let me stay for their rehearsal. And during the show, they gave me like a pass, and I could walk around and watch the show. And so I'm walking around watching the show, and I'm standing next to these two girls, and I don't do stuff like this, but, you know, they kind of looked at me. I'm like, yeah, I got to set that up. And I'm like, you know, and they're like, oh, really? Well, then why aren't you backstage watching it? And I'm like, it was at the Masonic. I'm like, well, there's really not a backstage, you know? And then I was like, I'm like doing this, and I'm like feeling really cool. I'm like, oh my God, I just became that douchebag, you know? Just like became that, yeah, I'm with the band person, you know? And I was so embarrassed for myself. I was like, oh, Carol, so embarrassing, so embarrassing. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I've never done that since.
Is there anything you want to say about unions or whatever you feel inclined to say at this point? We have to wrap it up soon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I think that I love being a part of the union, and I love my union. I think there are things that need to change, and I think people need to evolve in our union. But how I see my union is the brothers and sisters that I work with on the daily or the monthly, that I know have my back. That's my union to me. There's politics, there's all, you know, like with everything else, sometimes I think it's like a giant high school, you know, but when I know I'm on a job and I know that I see certain people on that job, I know they have my back. And I've never felt like that anywhere else. So I love the people I work with. I definitely want certain things to change. Things definitely need to change. You know, everybody needs to evolve. Everybody needs to grow. But I know that all those folks have my back, and they have my safety in mind, even the ones that don't like me.
Who doesn't like you?
Oh, there are some people, I promise.
State your name and your profession one more time.
My name is Carol Langlois, and I'm an electrician with IATSE Local 16.
And again, but then
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I
Um,
like both.
okay, my name is Carol Langlois, and I'm a stagehand with IATSE Local 16.
Okay.
Awesome.
Oh wait, one more time in here. Right. This one can be goofy.
Okay. Right. My name is Carol Langlois, and I'm a stagehand with IATSE Local 16. How's that?
That's good.
Was that cheesy enough?
Solid.